All right, welcome to our live stream today. We're going to be talking mainly about the SuperBins product, but we also have several other products. We have SwitchTake and SwitchNotify. The main purpose of SuperBins is to help you sync your media with your video editor. It works with DaVinci Resolve as well as Premiere Pro. You can also use it with some other editors, but you lose some of the automated capability. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do a little walkthrough. If you have any questions at all, just put them into the chat and I'll try to get them answered. That's the purpose of this, is to try to get you guys information so that you can learn about our products. And if you want to know how you can best use them for your workflow, we'll help you get there. So anyway, let's get started. Also, there is a SuperBins special right now. It's 40% off, so it's a really good savings. You can go to the SwitchTake.com site and click on SuperBins and purchase it right there. Download a free 7-day trial and try it out and see how it works for you. So anyway, let's dive in and take a quick look, and I'll show you some of the things you can do with SuperBins. So this is going to cover a lot of the same stuff that I did in the preview videos. So if you have any questions or want to know things, just kind of stop me and put the questions in there, and I'll show you how it works. So let's take a look at some of the basics. Okay, so here we are. We have this is the main SuperBins application, and this runs on Windows or Mac. And basically, you just need to run it in the background, and it's going to watch your project folder. So right here, we're in Windows, and this is my project folder on disk. And the way SuperBins works is any files that are added to the project folder are automatically synchronized into Resolve. And this works with Resolve Studio. The free version of Resolve, you can get it to work, but you have to do something a little bit different to get it to synchronize. But we're going to work with Resolve Studio for today. So let's just do a real quick demo. We're going to move some files in here, and you'll see how SuperBins works to get the files imported into Resolve. So let's bring up a media folder here. Okay, so we just have some media files. So if you want to get these into Resolve, all you need to do is basically start creating your file structure. So let's create a new bin or a new folder, and we'll call it footage. And we'll take some video files and move them into the footage folder. So we're just going to take these and copy them into footage. They're copied, and you can see that SuperBins saw the files, created a footage bin, and then also moved the files and imported them into Resolve. So that's the basics of it. So in this mode, it automatically does it. So we don't even need SuperBins to be visible. So you can take it, once it's running, you can just minimize it. And then any files that you bring in, so let's do another one. We're going to create a new folder called, let's say, images. And take some of these images and move them into the images folder. And again, SuperBins is going to detect this, create the folder, create the bin inside of Resolve, and import the files. So there's no need to worry about managing the media pool. It's all ready to go. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is that's just the basic function of. There you go. That's just the basic function of SuperBins. It makes it really easy. But there's also these things up here where we can paste and copy and drag and monitor folders. So this is a really quick way to get files into Resolve or Premiere Pro without even having to create folders or even look at your project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our project folder and minimize it, and I'm going to take these media files and minimize it. SuperBins, again, we're going to run it in the background. And this time we're going to... This time we're just going to take some images. So I'm at Pixabay, and we're going to search for some images here. Let's search for a balloon. Okay, so we have some balloons right there. So if say we wanted to use this balloon image in our video project, all you need to do is right-click on it. You can either choose copy image or copy image address, and then there's a hotkey sequence that you can click. And what the hotkey sequence does is it tells SuperBins to take that file, download it from the internet, move it into your project folder, and import it all in one shot. So in this case, we're going to hit Control Alt and J. And just wait a second, and SuperBins is going to do its thing. And there it is. We have the balloons loaded into our project folder. Really easy. We didn't have to create anything or do anything else. It auto-detected that it was an image and put it in the image area. So now if we come and take a look at our project folder, you can see that in images, the balloon image has been added. All right, the other thing we can do is say we want to change something about the image or maybe put it in a different folder. So let's, right here, let's just search for party. Okay, so maybe these are some party images right here. Maybe we want to use this one. And we can kind of do the same thing, but there's a trick that we can do to give ourselves an option to either change the name or move the bin location. So we can copy it. We're going to do right click on it and we're going to do copy image address. And this time we're going to hit Control Alt and K. And what this does is this brings up SuperBins with kind of a properties mode. And this is going to let you change the name and select and customize the bin. So right off the bat, it makes it easy to do so you don't have to go in and rename your files. It can be exactly what you want. So we're going to change the name to party. Type that in. And in the folder, folder bin, we can choose any one of these or any one of these down here. These are kind of some predefined bin locations, and you can customize this and set it up with the customize button here. So you can use whatever kind of structure that works for your projects. If we want it to be graphics like that, or you can just type it in. So we can type in, party and fun. You can type in however long you want it to be, and it's going to create that entire structure for you. It has a preview of the image, and all you need to do is hit sync file. It's going to take it, then it's going to download it and import it in and create those folders for us. So you can see I created a party bin and a fun bin. And our images are right where we wanted. We didn't have to create any folders on our disk, and we didn't have to create any bins in Resolve. It's all automated. Okay, so the next thing is, let's get this back here. Another nice thing we can do is there is a paste to timeline feature. So we're going to create a new timeline. Let's go to the master here. Okay, so we have a timeline here and we select a timeline track. So let's take one of these, let's take some of this footage and put it in. And we're going to add a new track, and we want to paste an image right on top of this at a specific place in the timeline. So let's right click and actually we should move it up. So we have a new track here. And we'll click this, the option on the left here, that's a track selector so that any additions are going to be added onto this track. We can put the playhead exactly where we want our image to be, and let's go back to Pixabay and find an image. Let's say this cake image here. So we can right click on it and choose copy image. We're going to do Control Alt K. We don't have to rename it. It automatically remembered our last bin, so it's going to go right where we're working. And this time we're going to hit this timeline option. So you can do none, you can have added to the timeline or added to the playhead. So we're going to hit playhead and hit sync file. And this time it's going to download it, do exactly what it did before, except it's going to import it and it's going to add the file in right at the playhead. So we didn't even need to do anything. It went right where we needed it to go, right in our project. So you can do this as many times as you want for whatever your tracks are. So that is the paste to playhead feature. That one works really good. I actually end up using that one all the time. It's very convenient. You don't even have to, the media pool could even be closed. You don't have to have the media pool or anything open, and the file's going to go right where you need. No need to think about how to organize it or anything like that. All right, the next thing is, so that's kind of some of the paste features. Let's ask one more thing is, let me bring this up here, is there's another option where you can set the color. So if we had an image here and we wanted to set the color of the clip, we can right click on it, copy, Control K. This goes really fast once you get used to it. And we can click here and say we want this to be one of the green color. And it's going to paste it playhead. We're going to put it right here. And we'll sync the file. And you can see it made the clip color green. So a lot of people like to use colors because it's a great way to organize your project, and you can kind of visually see what's what, and when you're scanning through it, you can find what you're looking for. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is the folder monitor, and this is great for downloads. So a lot of times from the internet, there's not really a download or not a link that you can use to download it. So you have to use the download option, and it's going to download the file into the downloads folder of your operating system. Well, SuperBins is monitoring that downloads folder. So any new files added to that are going to be automatically imported into your video editor. So let's do the same thing. This time we're going to pull up Pixabay and we're going to download a video. So let's search for the beach. And we're going to search for videos about the beach. And this one looks pretty good right here. So we'll click on that. And we're going to download it. Let's we'll choose the it's 1920 by 1080. We're going to click that and download. Actually, let's see. There we go, download. So it's downloading. And again, SuperBins does not have to be up. I'm just kind of leaving it up now to show you what it's doing. And once the file's downloaded, it's found and copied and put into the thing. And it actually, because we use the paste to play head, it was actually pasted directly into our timeline, and the beach images, the beach video is imported and ready for us to start editing. Okay, let's see, what do I want to talk about next? The last thing I wanted to talk about real quickly before I take any questions is the sync diff thing right here. So this allows you to take your project, and if maybe there's some files that are in your project but not imported yet, or maybe there's some files that you imported but that you want to get rid of. The sync diff is going to take the folder on disk and kind of match it up with what's inside of Resolve or Premiere and allow you to make adjustments. So for example, let's close this out and bring up our project folder. And you can see we have some images here. So let's get rid of a couple of these images. Or actually, let's do it the other way. So say we're in Resolve and we have these images right here, and maybe we delete these. Let's get rid of them here. All right, so this is a case where maybe you started setting up your project, but you weren't running SuperBins. So you can use SuperBins to resync and get everything back. So we have SuperBins here, and we're going to hit sync. The sync diff option is right here in the lower left, in the lower right. And it's going to look, and it found these 3 files in the Party Fun folder. Party Fun, these are the 3 files. So we have a couple options here. We can delete them from the media folder, say we're not using them anymore, or we can sync them to our project. You can sync one by one, or click the Sync All to Project button. And that's going to take all those files and put them back into Resolve, which is a really convenient way to keep your project updated. And there's a lot more that you can do with SuperBins, but that's kind of covering the basics. I just wanted to kind of run through that real quick. I want to see if anybody has any questions. So if anybody's watching, if you have some questions, you can ask questions about SuperBins. We also have a SwitchTake SwitchTake service, which lets you edit your video while you film. You can use your phone or your voice to make cuts and set edit points. That's a great way to get rid of some dead empty space or get rid of bad takes as you're filming. Makes it a lot faster, makes the process of putting your rough cut together really quick. So we can ask questions about that. Or there's also the new Switch Notify product. And what that does is it basically looks at the Resolve render queue. This Switch Notify is only for Resolve. And if you have a file or video, when you render it, it'll watch that and it'll play a sound or send you an alert when the render's complete. So it's a handy way so you don't have to watch to make sure that, watch for when your videos are going to be completed. They just, exactly. So you can set it rendering and start doing something else, whether it's checking email, browsing around, researching something, and it'll pop right up and let you know when the render's ready. Okay, well, if nobody has any questions, thanks for stopping by today. Really appreciate your time. And also, if you do have any questions, feel free, questions, input, or whatever, feel free to send us a message. You can go to switchtake.com and use the contact or support links. Send us your question or the problem you're having, and we'll be glad to get right back to you and give you some help. And also, don't forget, SuperBins is 40% off for a limited time here. So if you want to get it and try it out for yourself, there's a 7-day demo. So give it a shot and let us know how it works for you. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.